So the Aboriginal Riverkeeper Team is a traineeship for Aboriginal trainees to learn bush regeneration along the Georges River or within the Georges River catchment. So that means that they get, it's a full-time traineeship, but work-based. They're employed to do bush regeneration along the Georges River. So the Georges River runs from Botany Bay in the east all the way out west towards Campbelltown and around Appin. So it's a really big catchment area. So my name's Vanessa Cavanagh. I'm the project manager of the Aboriginal Riverkeeper Team here at Ecological Australia. I also acknowledge both my parents' ancestry. My mum is a Bundjalung woman from the north coast of New South Wales, and my father was a Wanneroo man from the Hunter region. Aboriginal people make up 3% of the national population, and for generations we've been experiencing disadvantage, and we have lower life expectancy, lower birth weight children, lower achievements in the education sphere, and I think it's really important that we can all have a voice and have an opportunity to make a positive influence for Aboriginal people so that we can start to turn those statistics around and make things better for Aboriginal people. So when I was offered the role of the Aboriginal Riverkeeper Team, that really spoke to me in the fact that there would be other young Aboriginal people on that team who I could positively influence. My passion is Indigenous leadership or Aboriginal leadership. Aboriginal leadership to me is having strong Aboriginal people in the leadership roles. So for a really long time we've had Aboriginal people doing really great things but not reaching the top levels in business or in government or in society. So the more we start to see Aboriginal people in those leadership roles, it's really important. It gives younger Aboriginal people like myself and generations coming behind me role models that we can look up to and actually say, well, I can, look at what that person's achieving. They're in a high level position where they're able to achieve well in their life and have stability in their home and for their families. And it's someone that I can look up to and try and emulate, and I want to be successful like them. So I started with the Aboriginal Riverkeeper Team as the project manager, and there was 4 trainees. None of them had worked in environmental conservation before, but they were all young Aboriginal people from southwestern Sydney. Some of them had strong connections to their culture and to their Aboriginal families and to their Aboriginal identities, and some of them knew that they were Aboriginal but didn't know much more than that. So I thought, well, I've got a lot of knowledge and experience that I can share with these young trainees and help them gain a better understanding of their culture, help them with employment opportunities, and help them gain skills that are going to make a difference in their long-term careers. Because of the nature of living in a city, there's not a lot of opportunities to have that strong connection to the natural environment and the elements of the Aboriginal culture that exists there in the environment. So when these trainees started, a lot of them have no concept or understanding of the natural environment. Then they know the bush is there, but they don't know the difference between what's a weed and what's a native, and why it's important to restore natural environments. So that's something that we teach them as part of the traineeship. So it's an environmental based traineeship, but we also incorporate really strong Aboriginal cultural components. And that was one of the design elements of the project, that they wanted to have a strong Aboriginal presence and strong Aboriginal cultural knowledge sharing as part of the project. So part of our Aboriginal Riverkeeper Team project was to have cultural days where the trainees would go out with elders, they would go out with knowledge holders, they would spend time with the land councils, and those days were specifically built into the project to help the trainees gain a better understanding of their Aboriginal culture and the knowledge and the history. And the trainees always talked about those cultural days as being the best days of the project because they knew that they were Aboriginal, but they didn't really know what that meant. And so as the project went on and they started to build up a better understanding of their Aboriginal history and heritage, they felt more confident, and you could see the pride growing in the trainees. They were gaining that self-confidence, but also gaining the cultural strength and the pride in their Aboriginal heritage. So it was really beautiful. I always get a bit emotional because I think, this project was about employing people and giving people an economic secure basis, but for me it was about building them up as strong Aboriginal people so that they could go on and have better lives, and that's one of the best outcomes of this project. Yeah, I'm really proud of that. With the first group of trainees, all 4 of them went on to employment after their traineeships. And another trainee, she wanted to learn more about culture, and so she got a job with the Office of Environment and Heritage, working in their Aboriginal Heritage section, and she had a lot of good experiences there. And then after that she went on working with one of the local Aboriginal land councils. And that's a really beautiful story, because the work that she does with the Aboriginal land councils, she actually has her own team of bush regenerators, her own team of trainees. So you can see that not only is she gaining skills and experience and making a success for herself, she's also able to make success for other people. And that was something that I was hoping to do in my role as the project manager of the Aboriginal Riverkeeper Team, was to influence the lives of others, and now they're influencing the lives of other people behind them. So there's a legacy of success behind the Aboriginal Riverkeeper Team.